Welcome to the No New Friends podcast, the podcast for adults who like to laugh at adulting. We are so excited for you to start your No New Friends podcast journey. Now, in the first 20 episodes, we've got old microphones that we kind of pieced together. So our audio is a little bit rough for the first 20 or so episodes. But there are some classic episodes in that first 20 that we reference all throughout our future episodes of the No New Friends podcast. So just bear with us on that audio. I apologize. But it gets better. We get brand new microphones right around episode 20 or so. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this episode of the No New Friends podcast.
And now it's time for the No New Friends podcast with Scott and Mary.
Minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
That's right. You're listening to the No New Friends podcast with Scott and Mary. I'm your host, Scott. With me, as always, my co-host, Mary.
Mary.
We can be heard on iHeart, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and many more. Please go to Orlando Weekly's website or on their Facebook and vote for us for Best of Orlando's competition, Best Local Podcast under the category Best Local Color. Very exciting. You can hear us on your Alexa. So if you have a Amazon Echo, just say, hey, Alexa, play the No New Friends podcast on iHeart, and it'll play the most recent episode. It's pretty cool. And now my Alexa's going nuts behind me. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you don't know how to subscribe to YouTube, we're going to be putting out an instructional video on how to subscribe to YouTube. Also, you could follow us on Instagram and Facebook at No New Friends Podcast. Instagram is a little bit more complicated. no.new.friends.podcast. And if you'd like to email us, no new friends podcast at yahoo.com. Mary, did I forget anything, or am I
think
good?
that's
Did I knock it out of the park?
Segment 1. We've now run out of time.
Right, man.
I think that that's a lot.
Yeah, so this is our first time doing a third episode. For us, it is Sunday, April 25th, and this episode's going to come out tonight. And April 25th, happy perfect date.
Yes, perfect date. It's not too hot, not too cold. All you need is a light jacket. And I always need a light jacket.
You always need a light jacket, courtesy of Miss Congeniality. I love that. That is one of my favorite movie lines ever.
I got a meme sent to me this morning from my good friend Dave Rogan with that. And
Yeah.
I was like, yes.
Yeah, it showed up in
Accurate.
my Facebook memories.
Hilarious.
Man,
Hilarious.
so how's your weekend been so far?
All right. From the top.
Oh God. Okay,
So-
saddle up. Let me get comfortable real quick. I'm gonna lean back in my chair.
It's not anything too crazy, but I did get my first dose of my COVID vaccine Friday evening. So I went,
Nice.
and my appointment time was at 4, and it was very efficient how they had it run.
Which brand?
Oh, I got Pfizer
Thank God.
because we all know that you're a vaccine
Thank
snob.
God,
And
yeah.
I even told the EMT that was doing the shot, I was like, thank goodness it's Pfizer, because I would be judged very hardly by my supposed best friend.
Yes, you
So,
would.
but it
Sorry.
was really easy and simple. But initially, like, I didn't feel the shot at all when they did it. So I
Right.
guess,
Very,
I'm just a
very easy.
champion of pain.
Yeah.
But as the hours wore on, I was useless.
Yeah, it feels like
and-
you got punched in the arm.
But no, worse, like for me, it was like clavicle to wrist. Like the whole thing was very upset. And I made a terrible mistake because I think they just assume you want it in your left arm because most people write with their right hand, and that makes perfect sense.
Did they not ask you?
Well, he was like, he asked, is left okay? Because that's how the chair was situated. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense. But then I very quickly realized once my arm began to hurt that I had made a tragic mistake, because I am a right-handed lefty or a left-handed righty. I don't know. I do everything except for right with my left hand. Like
Interesting.
I brush my teeth, I eat my food. Everything I do is with my left hand.
Leave it to you to make something so simple so difficult.
No, okay. Well, I'm a victim of circumstance. This was not my fault. I think I
Okay.
was born a lefty, and I would write with my left hand when I was very little. But my sister was a righty, and her being the guiding factor in what I should do was like, no, you're holding it wrong, and switched hands. And then that just seemed to make sense. And I write with both hands. But even in like softball, I bat lefty.
This is I guess, equivalent to Gen Z's version of picking your gender, like picking
We're not
your
even
hand thing.
we're not even going to broach that because that was very insensitive.
That's not.
And
Oh
if
my
I could-
God! See, okay,
Listen,
look.
if I could spray you through the phone with like one of those water bottles, I would.
If there are two ways that something that I say can be taken, and one is going to upset you, I always mean the other way. Okay, so just understand that. Not meaning to be like offensive. That's not in my nature.
Okay. I said, do you want to fight me? Do you want to catch these hands? But other than that, so I spent all day yesterday watching Game of Thrones.
Yes, and we're gonna so now that we have 3 episodes per week, we're gonna have some structure. It's very exciting. Thursdays will be Mary's Game of Thrones recap, and she'll be recapping season 2 and 3.
Yeah, because
Thursday.
I am on, and as soon as I'm done with this, I will probably dive headfirst back in. But right now I am on season 3, episode 6 or 7. So, and then obviously I have to wait.
Yeah, although we may have
episode 9.
Yeah, we may have to move that segment up to Tuesday because I want you to do an immediate recap after episode 9.
Right, but I don't know if I'm ready to have my heart broken again. Like a lot of there's been so many moments. Anyways, we'll save this though.
We'll save this. We'll save this. Also, Mary's going to be bringing us strange news, so it's not going to be any more. Mary's going to bring strange news. Not today. We're going to do those. We
can just talk about what happens with my kids. Most of that is strange news, but yeah. So that was my Saturday, and today has only begun.
Gotcha. Well, I'm exhausted because I stayed up till 2:30 watching How I Met Your Mother. And again, yeah, I love that show. And I got that song. I don't know the name of the song, but I would walk 500 miles because there's that episode. Yeah, there's that episode where
it gets stuck in
the yes. So I've got that song stuck in my head because that was one of the last episodes that I watched last night. It's such a great show, and I finished last night at with Marshall and Lily's wedding. And we get dished the devastating news that Robin and Ted broke up, which is awful. But knowing the end of the show, I know that they end up getting back together.
Fine.
So we're good.
It's fine.
I feel like every show like that, they get back together. I mean, Friends, spoiler alert. Did she get on the plane? Did she get off the plane?
Oh my.
I got off the plane.
And for the next 10 minutes, we're going to listen to Scott reenact sitcoms from both sides.
That would be fun.
Both characters.
That would be fun. We're also going to be bringing a new segment to the show. It's and I don't know what we're going to call it yet, but we're each going to suggest something for the other person to watch. And I think we could have fun with this because I think it could be like super obscure and super dumb. So the first movie that I want Mary to watch is Howard Stern's Private Parts. It's one of my inspirational movies for radio and I guess podcasting, although podcasting wasn't around back then, but just radio in general. So Mary's trying to think of something for me to watch, and then we'll kind of turn around and review it. But in the spirit of binge watching, Rachel and I finished Falcon and the Winter Soldier, or should I say, spoiler alert.
No, don't say it.
Oh, I'm not going to say it?
I don't know. I feel like, what if they're not caught up? Oh, well, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, if they're not caught up by this episode posts tonight, Sunday night, 10 p.m. That episode came out Friday. So I'm saying
2 days if you didn't do it in 48 hours.
Spoiler alert, we're going to be talking about Falcon and the Winter Soldier for the next about 6 minutes. So just hit that fast forward button and go to the next segment. So Falcon and the Winter Soldier, or should I say Captain America and the Winter Soldier.
I really wanted the name to be Captain Falcon America, like a full government name.
That's too much.
First,
Captain
middle,
Falcon
last.
America.
That's what I was really hoping for. I have a few, just my notes are probably a lot less in depth than yours.
Okay.
Because, one is a question, because I think a decent amount about the Marvel universe, but there's some pieces I think that I haven't put together, or maybe I haven't experienced things.
Sure.
My first note is, screw Sharon Carter.
Right.
Like, her and I got beef. I do think I love her as an actress. So I'm going to try not to get upset about this, but I'm very upset about that. And how about you made out with your uncle? Like, you already have some character flaws, but that's fine. It's fine.
She made out with her uncle.
She made out with Steve Rogers.
How is that her uncle? There's no relation.
She's Peggy's niece.
Okay.
And Peggy and Steve Rogers, Captain America.
Not at that time. Captain America was frozen.
It still doesn't matter. It happened.
Yeah, but there's no relation there.
All right. Well, I want to hold it against her because I didn't like what she did in the last episode.
So in the comic books,
I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
So is Val Miss Hydra?
Okay. So in the comic books, Sharon Carter is is the leader of this division of Shield. It's called like the Fem Agents, and Val was a member of the Fem Agents and reported to Sharon Carter. Val is a Russian like triple operative spy.
Also Elaine from Seinfeld, not a big deal.
Also Elaine from Seinfeld, or the neighbor from Christmas Vacation.
Oh yeah.
So she worked for Shield and infiltrated Hydra for Shield and was Madam Hydra. The post-credit scene where Sharon Carter is talking on the phone to someone, it could be assumed that she is talking to Val.
Oh, see, I thought she was talking to the power broker.
Sharon
like
is
the
the
old
power.
guy. No, is she really though?
Sharon is the power broker. No, the old guy is Zemo's butler.
I need to rewatch it. I missed something.
The old guy that blew up the car. He's Zemo's butler. That's why after that it went to Zemo in jail, satisfied with his mission being carried out.
Got it.
Sharon is the power broker. And she was the one responsible for arming the Flag Smashers with the serum to make them super soldiers. So it can only be assumed that she's talking to Val, who works for her. And I don't know. We don't know what their motivation is. Are they going to start rebuilding Hydra? Sharon Carter's motivation is she's pissed off at the U.S. government for how she was treated after Civil War. So she's trying to get back at them, but Val, we don't know because she's like this super spy. In the comic book, she actually dated Nick Carter, not one of the Backstreet Boys.
I was like, that's interesting. I didn't.
Nick Fury. I combined Nick Fury and Agent Carter.
I need a minute to recover.
The Backstreet Boys of Marvel. I want it that way. Tell me why did Thanos snap his finger? Tell me why. Oh God,
we just lost half of our listeners.
No, and we just gained a bunch because now that song is going to be stuck in their head like in Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Also, Proclaimers 500 Miles.
Exactly. I wish, man, as this thing progresses, we'll have to pay a little bit of extra money so that we could play those songs, so I could throw that song in there.
Why do we need to play it when you just sang it the way you
because it's not the original. It's not the original version, so it's not copyrighted. I loved the show. I thought it was. There were definitely some episodes that I could have done without, and it was slow moving at times, and I think it could have been a movie rather than a 6-hour series, but they did get a lot of storytelling and a lot of character building in there. I think it was important for us to accept Sam as Captain America, and I'm not saying that because he's a black dude. I'm saying because it's not Steve Rogers. Steve Rogers is Captain America, and now we have to accept that there's a new Captain America. Had he put the shield on in the first episode, I don't know that I would have bought into it. Yeah, I wouldn't have been okay with, like, even after Endgame, I'm like, this sucks. Like, Steve Rogers is gone. I don't even like Sam. Like, it's not that I don't like. It's not that I don't like him. He's just.
Do you want to fight me?
He's just a character that is like, whatever. But this series, I
don't feel that way.
I was indifferent about him.
Fine. But I really think they had like $160 million budget for the series. I'm pretty sure they spent all of it on the last episode.
Oh, for sure.
All of it. They spent $25 on the first, 5 episodes.
But like I said, it gave me the ability to appreciate and accept Sam as Captain America.
His nephews are adorable.
Yes.
Those little kids are adorable.
When he first showed up with that suit on, I had a reaction. Like, I'm clapping, I'm cheering. I was like, yeah. Whereas if he did that in the beginning, I wouldn't have been okay with that. Also,
there wouldn't have been a series also.
Correct. Right. They could have gotten it done in 15 minutes. Also, I think it was important for us to build a connection with Bucky because
there's a lot of character development.
Yeah,
for sure.
In the movie series, he's just kind of this B-roll character. He's Steve Rogers' best friend. He's the Winter Soldier, and there's not a lot of connection there. And I
Mhm.
think that this series gave us the ability to have that connection with him.
Yeah.
Also, another reason why this series was important, Zemo is an important character in the Marvel
Mhm.
universe. So we haven't seen the last of Zemo. He's super important. And then also the whole power broker, Sharon Carter, Val thing, and then the U.S. agent.
I'm just going to stare at you.
Wyatt Russell becoming the U.S. agent. So I think that there were so many important things, and Marvel does.
I have a hard time because I don't like that guy. Even
No,
though
neither do I.
Like
Neither do I.
He did the hokey pokey. You know, he turned himself around a little
Right.
in that last episode, but I don't like how he looks. He's got a smug face. I feel like his wife seems like a nice lady, though.
Yeah, we could be friends.
Maybe.
All right, we're gonna take a quick break. You're listening to the No New Friends podcast. We'll be right back. No New Friends podcast is now using Nikki Podcast Preparations Incorporated, which is a podcast management consultant agency of services that helps independent podcasts obtain more plays, downloads, guests, sponsors, and a bunch of the legwork behind the microphone when it comes to podcasting. CEO Nick can be contacted via Twitter or Instagram at NikkiPPINC. And if you tell him that the No New Friends podcast sent you, we'll both get a 25% discount. Nikki has helped accumulate millions upon millions of downloads, tens of thousands of dollars in sponsorships, celebrity guests, and much more. So just shoot him a direct message to get your podcast growing.
Okay, let's be friends. Follow the No New Friends podcast on Facebook and Instagram at No New Friends Podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our new YouTube channel, No New Friends Podcast, where you can get a behind-the-scenes look at our recordings, everyday life, and shenanigans. Okay, bye.
Hey guys, comedian James John, and you are listening to the No New Friends podcast.
Welcome back to the No New Friends podcast with Scott and Mary. You know the spiel. You can listen to us on all sorts of podcast platforms. Follow us on Facebook at No New Friends Podcast, Instagram, no.new.friends.podcast. Follow our YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube. Vote for us on Orlando Weekly's Best of Competition under the category Best Local Color. Go to Best Local Podcast. Also, if you want to hear us on your Amazon Echo device, just shout out her name and say, hey, play the No New Friends podcast on iHeart. It'll play the most recent episode. Please share our episode. If you like what you hear, spread the word. Spread the word of the No New Friends podcast, because we want to take this thing worldwide, and we are worldwide now. We're not in every country, but we had a new country added to the list the other day, Mary. Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw that.
So we have been heard in the countries of, obviously, the United States, Puerto Rico, Canada, Spain, India, and now Antigua.
I went to Club Antigua one time.
Of course you did. Of course you did. So I was having a fun little conversation with my wife yesterday, and
Was it about your new toy you got?
no, but let me tell you about this new toy that I got.
You want to know how I know Scott's a middle-aged white dude?
So I got a battery daddy, and this thing is so badass. It holds all your batteries. It's like a little briefcase, and it's a battery organizer.
And you make fun of me for a pill sorter.
Because I'm not organizing my pills because I have to take
You're
a billion a day.
Your batteries. Are you going to use all those every day?
Not every day, but don't knock it. If Abby needs AAA batteries for a new toy, I just go to my little battery daddy, pull it out, and pull out 3 AAAs.
Look,
it's
I'm
not in
not
a bin where I have
knocking
to
it.
search for it.
I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying, think about it.
I'm telling you, this thing is fantastic. The hardest thing with the battery daddy is filling in the batteries. And I would say that when I filled it up, I only filled it up about halfway. So my amazing wife bought a bunch of batteries just so I could fill up my battery daddy. So we had fun doing that.
So is it
yesterday.
like your Pokemon card deck? Like you got to fill it up? Is that what it was?
I mean, I guess I just it felt weird not being full, and it's still not full, but on one side you put all of your AA batteries and they go into little slots, and then on the other side it's got little holes for your D cell, your C cell, more AA's, a bunch of AAA's, and the 9 volts, and then a little compartment for those little like nickel size batteries that you put in very obscure
nice.
things.
I'm very happy for you and your new toy.
This is the problem. This is what I was going to talk about. So let's put a pin in that, because I'm going to come back to that. So I was having a fun conversation with my wife yesterday, and I'm not going to go into detail about what we were discussing because it was sexual. And when I said what I said, she goes, "Boys are so silly." I'm going to tell you something. You women with your whole women's suffrage and we have hard times and equal pay, blah, blah,
Tread
blah.
lightly, Scott.
Listen, I want to talk about men's suffrage, because women control the sex, okay? Women control the sex. Tell me a guy who can control the sex, and then I want them to write a book so that we can all learn how to do that. I'm not saying that we should just wake up and expect it, but man, the lengths that we have to go through, whether it's just starting out in a relationship, a year into a relationship, marriage, like I just want to know how. Let's talk about men's suffrage, okay? Because you guys think you have it so rough. I get a battery daddy, you make fun of me, yet you all have your little sewing kits or your pill sorters or your
which you made fun of me for
other organizational devices.
Right, but typically the organizational devices both sexes benefit from. I don't think that has anything to do with it, but I do want to circle back to your point about that it's not difficult for you, and you have to do all these things like, moving mountains so that you can be granted access to, whatever.
We call it throwing a parade.
Oh, wonderful. I don't think that in most cases, and I could be wrong, you have to do anything outside of being a decent human being and have a good connection. I don't think that you have to do anything much more. I don't know of anybody who's like, listen, I am not going to sleep with you unless you make me a bike.
Okay,
clown.
Listen, we're not going to go down the route of how to have sex. I'm saying that men do not control the sex. Okay, so therefore, men's suffrage.
That's your point.
That's the point that I'm trying to make. And look,
I would like to bring up
there's
something
other
of my
things
own.
too. Please do. Please tell me why it's so difficult to be a woman. And look, none of the deep BS.
No, these aren't.
I know that there's real struggles out there. I know that there's real struggles out there.
This is light and silly.
Equal opportunities and all that, and I'm completely down with that. This is light and silly.
Okay, I have something, and I actually texted you over this revelation that I had. I was holding my pants, and typically my beef I have with women's clothing is that they come in ridiculous sizes. You wear a 0, 2, 4, whatever it is you wear, and you wear it at, we'll say, Target, you buy pants and you're a 0. But then you go to Hollister and you're a 00, or you go, you know what I mean? So like things change, but you don't know. I was folding my pants and my actual measurements were in these pants. Why can't we just have normal measurements? Like I should be able to go to the store and say, I need a 24 by 30, just like dudes can. Why can't we do that?
Well,
women's suffrage.
Look, we do have some complications because we will have the 36 by 30, but then there's 36 by 30 boot cut, 36 by 30 slim cut, 36
yeah,
by
we
30
have
loose
that
cut.
too, though. But at least you know what size you are. You're not put through like having to like try on all these. And why do we put such random numbers on it? That's not even close to a measurement. 0 is not a number. How do you think that makes me feel?
Yeah.
Anyways.
Okay. That's interesting. So how do they come up with the numbers? Because for men, it's the exact measurement of your waist. That's your waist measurement, 34, 36, 38, whatever.
Yeah, I know. But there are some companies that sell jeans for women with those measurements. It's just not normal. And I didn't even know that these jeans had the actual measurement in it. It had the size, and then it had 24 by 30. So now, I don't know, I had that revelation. I was like, life would be a lot easier if I didn't have to go into dressing rooms and wonder what size I am at this store or at the next store. Women's suffrage. Very frustrating.
I can feel what you're saying. I can understand what you're saying, but again, there is a solution. You try them on. Okay.
Yeah, but
there is no solution to men not being able to control the sex.
I'm just going to stare at you. Okay. Well, that's on you, I guess. That's your opinion.
Tell me, so I'm not wrong. Men control the sex. Men
No, I'm
control
not.
the sex.
No,
Is that
they
what you're telling me?
don't,
Okay,
though.
that's
They
what I'm
don't.
saying. That's what I'm saying. That's
So you
men's
want-
suffrage. And
That's
also,
and that's your one item of men's suffrage.
that's a big item. That's a big item. Okay. Like, I can't, if I was single, we have to work a lot harder to get a girl's number than a girl getting our number. Okay.
Right. And we have to work a lot harder to filter out who's a creepy dude who's just trying to
And
get
we
that.
have to filter out whether or not you're crazy. Like, we have to filter that out. Do they
There's
have
no
the crazy
filter
eyes?
for that.
Are they
It's
clingy?
all of them. Everybody has a level of crazy. It just depends where you are on the scale.
Well, exactly. We've got to determine what level on the scale they are. And
You
yes,
won't know. You won't know that until you've been married for like 30 years, I think. I don't know. We keep it tucked in typically pretty well.
It's typically a 2-year thing. Once you hit 2 years in a relationship, that's when you learn if they're crazy or not. It's typically 2 years. Because in the first year, you're just getting to know each other. And it's exciting. It's act 1 of the play. Act 2 is like that second year where now you're deciding, okay, are we going to move in together, or where is this going? And there's once you hit year 2, now you've experienced everything together for the first time and second time. So now nothing's new. Now you're into like the day to day. So year 2 is when the crazy comes out, if it's coming out. Like, my wife is not crazy. My wife is a unicorn. You are a unicorn. And for those of you who have not seen,
know better than that. It was nice. It was nice of you to say it, though.
For those of you who don't know the crazy hot matrix, look it up on YouTube. It's this whole like diagram of where women fall on the crazy hot matrix, because you can't be both hot and not crazy. If you're at a certain level, then you're a unicorn, and you need to bottle it up, send it in so they can study it and know how to duplicate it. Or if you're a certain level, then that's a dude. That's a dude that you're talking to.
I don't know where it falls in the grid, but I'm just the area where you were the funny kid in school, like
you're
the
fun one. You're the fun one.
I was the funny kid, and also a little crazy. It's fine.
Yeah,
maybe who I am today.
I don't know. I don't want to assign numbers to.
No, I'm not. I would also not like a number. I would like no numbers assigned. Thank you, sir. I also have some beef with like women's razors. That sucks a lot.
Okay, why is that?
I swear I don't know. I think they don't make them good. Like, I would much rather use men's razors. And I feel like women's razors are more expensive. Like, it's that whole pink tax thing. Like, they want to make it look, they want to make it look cute. So they charge you more, but I don't care what my razor looks like. Why do I care about that?
Sure. So you buy
I'll
men's
get a Mach
razors
3. Then? I don't know. Yeah, I buy men's razors. I would prefer
they're not that different. I think the only difference is like one blade. I mean, that's what I've been told is like,
you know that you could be killed with one blade.
I feel like I'm going to be killed with one blade by you today. This is your episode to be all salty and stuff.
Am I salty? You know, when it's because it's a side effect of the vaccine.
No, it's
That's
not.
What I'll say. No,
it's
a side effect of me suffering from allergies on top of some of the side effects. Like, my head has been killing me for the last 48 hours.
And
I'm congested.
And parenting.
Yeah, I know. I texted you and I was like, I don't know if the headache's from the vaccine or my children.
Man, I got to tell you, on Friday, you had a rough day.
I almost died, everyone.
Can we talk about that?
We can. So I almost died. I looked up and there was a giant winged beast in my dining room on the ceiling. And I don't even know how I saw it, but I did, because it was huge.
Like, Mary's apartment complex called, and now she has to pay a pet deposit on that thing.
That's not even a joke. I'm sure it's going to happen. But I killed it. And here's the story of how I was brave. They should, you know what? This will go down in the history books.
Did you take a picture so we could put it on our Facebook?
I do have a picture of it.
So this was a giant roach that
it was
Mary,
a palmetto bug that
I
could have rode on the back of it.
Mary FaceTimes with me to morally to give moral support, taking her through this process of slaying
and he did
the beast.
Nothing.
I gave you words of encouragement, and I also said, stop FaceTiming me and record this so we can put it on YouTube.
And then I was like, cool, you just want me to die. It's fine.
No, everything is potential content.
Okay, well, anyways, friends, it started to move, which was a bad idea. It shouldn't have done that for both of us. I at one point I screamed and ran away, and I think I dropped the phone or like
You did. No, it was
over
like
myself.
it was like watching the Blair Witch Project for me, because I'm watching this unfold, and then I see the phone shaking and Mary running and screaming.
And I am out of breath and crying. So
Yeah,
it's
you were.
Eventually, you did tell me to throw a shoe at it,
And you did.
and I did. I threw a Chuck Taylor at it. I chucked a Chuck Taylor at it.
Yeah, but I wasn't saying just randomly throw it. I wanted you to like Spanish grandma slap that thing with a flip-flop. Like pow.
No, I got close enough to where I knew that my aim would be okay, but also that I would not be attacked, and I threw it. But then there were guts, and that was rough.
But then there's more, because I noticed while you were FaceTiming me, there was a spot in your ceiling.
There was a leak from the upstairs. I live on the first floor, and I had noticed it a while back, and I was like, well, that doesn't look good. And I didn't really do anything about it because, that's me. And
you'd rather breathe the black mold.
Right. So whenever I had to get a new washer,
gives you that smell of ET.
Can I finish my story? So I told them about it when they were installing my new washer. They're like, all right, we'll come out and have a gander. So he comes out and homie just spray paints over it. And then he used regular paint too, but there were other spots of discoloration that he was like, oh, well, let me get these too. And spray painted them and regular painted those too. And as he was leaving, he was like, oh, I think there's some dust on the ground. Do you want me to wipe it up with a rag? And I was like, no, I'll grab a Swiffer. It's not a big deal. Go about your day. It's Friday. See ya. It was not dust. It was paint. There's paint all over. And my dumb ass, I didn't see it. I didn't understand what it was. He said it was dust. I didn't know it was paint. And I go trotting through it. So not only are there specks of paint and then this what he was calling dust, but then now there's footprints everywhere I went.
And when you sent me the video, I just hear sticks.
Maybe I'll upload the video to YouTube.
Perfect.
So people can see it.
Perfect.
And my shoes are still sticking to the ground because of all the particles of garbage on them. I cleaned up as much as I could, but there's paint still everywhere, and it got on my dining room table and on my coffee table. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed
in yourself.
Why am I disappointed in myself that this dude got paint on my stuff?
Well, I mean, you kind of got the paint on your stuff by stepping in it, right?
No, I didn't step on my coffee table, Scott.
That's true. You're not wrong. Well,
I don't care about the floors. I'm not responsible for those floors. Right. I'm not going to take them with me when I leave. Maybe I will now. It was a rough day.
It was a rough day. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We will be right back. You're listening to the No New Friends podcast. At this time, the No New Friends podcast would like to thank one of our supporters, Chris Kelleher. Thank you for being a supporter of the No New Friends podcast. You too can be a supporter. It's very simple. All you have to do is click on the link in the episode description, and you too, for as low as 99 cents per month, can support the No New Friends podcast. What this does is goes towards new equipment, marketing, and other operating expenses. Support today, and again, thank you, Chris Kelleher.
Hey, this is Craig Brooks with Tasty Trivia, and you're listening to the No New Friends podcast.
Welcome back to the No New Friends podcast with Scott and Mary. Make sure you check out our Facebook, No New Friends Podcast, our Instagram, no.new.friends.podcast. Please subscribe and share our YouTube for the love of everything that's holy. It's great. And then make sure you vote for us on our Orlando Weekly's Best Of contest under Best Local Color, Best Local Podcast. So
also the most humble podcast.
Yeah, right? Very, very, very humble. We're going to be recording on Thursday. We're going into a studio to record our origin story for Mainline Marketing's Best Of Central Florida podcasting. So fingers crossed. Hopefully we win that, because I can.
My only concern, Scott.
Okay, what's your concern?
Is it's at night, 9:30.
Okay, that is why I copied you on the text messages.
No, here's the concern.
We were given every opportunity to do a different day, and you're like, yeah, I'm down.
I didn't want to be that jerk. So it's just I'm like Cinderella. I wear small shoes and I turn into a pumpkin after a certain time. So I'll do my best to not be grouchy and tired. Is just my concern. Okay, go on.
Do you want to do a different day?
No.
We still have that opportunity.
No, I'm fine.
Okay.
I was just saying, be prepared.
Well, and that's why I didn't answer for myself. I put it out there in the universe so that you could comment and say, hey, yes.
Scott, we don't need to fight right now. Why are you trying to fight? Why are you trying to fight me?
I'm not trying to fight you, but it's a little bit frustrating when
Why is that frustrating?
I'm going to tell you, when you complain about doing something at a certain time when you had every opportunity to do it at a different time.
It's not a complaint. I'm just saying that is very, very late for me. Because I'm old and I own a pill sorter, Scott. That's why.
You know, it's funny. Women do this. Back to men's suffrage. So my first date with Rachel, I had kids and all that. And I was like, I got to make sure that they're all situated because, Darren could stay home alone. And I said, let's meet at 9:00. And she's like, oh, that's too late. Can we do 8? Well, we stayed up till 5 a.m. What does it matter what time the night started?
Okay, well, that is a situation that you can't really use in relation because...
Same thing with you, though. You say, oh, I'm in bed at a certain time. Every time you come hang out with us, like, we're up till midnight, 1 o'clock.
Alcohol and excitement.
Well, great. Fuel yourself up with alcohol and excitement on Thursday. It's exciting to be in a real recording studio.
Okay, how am I going to drive myself there, Scott?
Uber.
I know.
Solutions.
Continue on. What would you like to say in this segment?
Listen, I'm trying to help you in life. I'm trying to help you in life.
How is this helping me in life? You know what it's doing? It's making me, I don't know. It's not helping.
How is it making you feel, Mary? Look,
I'm a licensed professional to hear about my thoughts because we don't have enough time in this podcast to talk about my feelings right now. Right now, I am feeling misunderstood. That's probably the best word.
Okay.
Misunderstood.
All right. Well,
all I was saying is that if I'm just hanging out and then I leave to go do something at 9:30, I need something very exciting for me. Like I need something dangling in front of me, like a carrot or a
winning this contest. Like we could win this contest and we could get new equipment and get cash. That's exciting.
I am a millennial. I like instant gratification. If I'm going to trek out at 9:30, I want something immediately. So somebody better have a White Claw and some beef jerky for me.
I will have a White Claw, beef jerky, and like some congratulations balloons for you or something. I'll throw you a damn
green M&Ms?
Yes, green freaking M&Ms.
I also would like to say something else.
Please.
I got a very nice text message this morning. And for all of our listeners, if you are pregnant with child, you should play our podcast for them because
as opposed to pregnant with dog.
I'm not entertaining it, but maybe that might work. The puppies might like it too. So try it. I was informed that my beautiful sister's baby, his name is Jameson, and she's 30 weeks, but she plays our podcast for him and he goes ham because he loves our voices. So
well, we do have very nice, soothing and calming
until
voices.
You start yelling. Like I'm going to tell her not to play this one for him because you yell too much.
Well, I can't imagine the things that he's going to say when he first starts talking. I mean, when he first starts talking, first of all, he's going to start talking right away and in full sentences because, we talk so well, but then he's going to be talking about your damn clavicles. So,
oh no! The first thing he's like, my aunt's got some stuffed crust pizza clavicles.
Like that's what I was looking forward to. I heard all about it, and there they are. They're famous.
No, he's not going to like them because they're too bony, like to lay on. He's going to enjoy it.
He's going to do pull-ups, workout, and getting ready for the physical fitness test.
Oh my God! Okay, you had something you wanted to address outside of your hatred for me.
Oh my! I don't hate you. Here's the thing: we talked about this a couple weeks ago. Everybody is a character in the movie of my life. Okay, and this is an ongoing movie, kind of like the Truman Show, but I'm self-aware of it. And you just play a character, and I think it's funny because I try to surround myself with funny characters.
Right, and be your clown.
Dance monkey. With the symbols, you gotta do the symbols. But now you look like a seal. It's Yeah, it doesn't translate as well on the
Oh, because I
earbuds.
did the little.
I know, yeah. Mary
Okay.
does an impression of a dolphin. That's
I don't know. No,
yeah. There you go.
they're
Yeah.
like there's a mouse in the room.
Oh man. So you said you were misunderstood. There's other things that are misunderstood. And growing up, I learned a lot about the Bermuda Triangle. And I got to tell you, I was scared to death of this Bermuda Triangle.
As you should be.
I mean, I read books, I saw movies where just, all the equipment goes haywire and just boats and planes disappear. David Copperfield even did a special at the Bermuda Triangle. I even got a question wrong on Get the Picture, which I was on in 5th grade, because it was data distortion and it was a satellite dish, and I thought it was the setup that David Copperfield used on the Bermuda Triangle, and I said, the Bermuda Triangle. And Mike O'Malley, who's the host after that power surge, was like, we were lost on the Bermuda Triangle on that one. Like, made fun of me on Nickelodeon. Have you ever seen me on Get the Picture? Because I have it on DVD.
I bet your mom has it too.
Yeah, 3 different copies. It's really, really funny. It's really funny because in the kid intro, when they're like introducing the kids, before you go on the air, they ask you to fill out this questionnaire, and then like Mike O'Malley looks at it and figures out, what's interesting to tell about you. Well, at the time I took ballet, and
so did you like?
So he says, Scott says here that you take ballet to help you with basketball. And I said, yeah, I was at this, and I gave this like long story that nobody cares about. And I was like, yeah, I was at.
I see you haven't grown out of it.
I was at a dance lesson. Shut up. I was at a dance lesson with my sister, and they were giving out free coupons for 1 free lesson. So I took it, went, liked it. And I'm trying to strengthen my muscles for basketball. And I'm like, I liked it so much that I've been with it for 3 years, and I'm going to be in the Nutcracker at Bob Carr. I'm like giving directions for being in the Nutcracker at Bob Carr.
Look,
and like, this is a nationally syndicated. Like, this show is all. Nobody in California gives a crap.
What I want you to understand is when you talk so in depth about everything with the podcast at the beginning, that is what it just translated into adulthood. Okay, so there were planes that did go missing in the Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah, but
it's not a problem for us.
It's not a problem. Like, if this was supposed to be a really big problem, everything that I read is like a really big problem. And I've been on cruises and I'm seeing where we're going. I'm like, there's the Bermuda Triangle. What are we doing?
Just keep drinking. It's fine. Get the package. Okay, so one of mine for me is I was never offered unsolicited drugs at all in my childhood.
Yeah, all this peer pressure that we were supposed to have with free drugs.
Right. I had no opportunity to just say no because nobody tried, and there was no white van, there was no candy. I mean, I feel like there's opportunity now in the day of edibles that look like candy.
Right.
Like, come on. These predators really need to step it up. No, I'm just kidding. That's awful.
I feel like
but
the
you
way
know what
that
I mean?
it was
like there was a whole like war on drugs, but we're like, but where is it?
Because but no one was fighting it. It was like
I don't see it.
It was like a hypothetical war.
The drugs won. The drugs won.
But it was always the older brother who was wearing a stonewashed jeans jacket and had the spiky hair with the slick back sides, who was supposed to be offering those drugs.
Yeah, and that never happened.
Never happened.
For me.
Another thing that I was lied to about that I thought was going to be a really big deal, turns out it's really not. Quicksand. Like quicksand.
Is that a real thing?
I don't know that it is. And
it's probably in Australia where all the other terrible things are.
Right, which is such a small percentage of our planet. But it's like quicksand in its natural form is not as bad as like what it looks like in the movies or the cartoons. It's not as bad as
slime that children make. I feel like that's a bigger issue in the modern day.
Yes, but, I agree.
That could kill someone.
The only
but yeah, I don't know where to find it. After we get off of this show, I'm going to Google where I could find quicksand.
The only thing that quicksand really did to us, and it wasn't quicksand, but it was more a form of mud and sludge, was it created trauma for kids in the scene from Neverending Story.
Stop. Why are you bringing this up?
I know, right?
never ending story.
That was, I mean, like all these things as kids that we had to watch that were like traumatic. Like that
that's
scene from Neverending Story, the tunnel scene from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
very terrible.
There's no vision where we're going.
Yeah, that was yeah. Well, and also the fact that the Oompa Loompas were like, the kid died, let's dance.
Mhm.
Like, what?
Let's craft a clever
choreographed-
choreographed number real quick.
Got a little number for you. I thought that okay, I
What
know that
do
they
you
are
get
an issue.
when you're big,
I'll just, you let me know when you're done.
I'm done.
And
Go,
I'll
go.
continue.
This was like our musical number. Like, you know, when television shows like Jump the Shark and they're about to go off the air, they always do a
Like a musical version.
episode. This was our
Oh,
musical
God.
episode.
This is so I know that it's no threat to me, but it is a very big threat to other people. But I am still very afraid of it right now, sitting in my home. Tsunamis. I am so afraid of tsunamis.
To tsunamis.
I have a deep fear of tsunamis. Like if I'm at the beach, I love going to the beach, but low key I'm on the look for like rising water because I am.
Well, you won't see. You have to look for the
well, it
seeding
sucks
water.
it out.
Yeah, because it's
Well,
got to
pulls
pull
it
it
out.
out first.
Yeah. Well, and then yeah, it's a lot, and I know that people are affected by them in a big way, but like I said, here in Lake Mary, I don't think it's an
The
issue.
middle of the damn state.
And in Florida, I don't think that we get tsunamis in Florida. That's not a thing for us.
It could be. I mean, but
Potentially.
typically earthquake, because tsunamis are usually caused by earthquakes.
Caused
they
by
usually
earthquakes.
happen in different regions
Or by
of
Godzilla.
the
Who
globe,
knows?
or by
I don't know.
Godzilla. I
Right.
think if a tsunami is going to hit you in Lake Mary, there's nothing to be afraid of because the world is ending. Like
I should just relax and let it happen.
it's the
at that
movie
point.
2012 or The Day After Tomorrow. Like every end of the world movie, just embrace it's over.
That's true.
And we lived in Florida. We got nice weather. We had sun, but we're going to be the first to go. So
We're paying our debts.
We're paying our debts. Yeah, we have to pay the piper, and the piper is a tsunami that engulfs the state
Why
of
does it have
Florida.
to be a tsunami? Why can't it be quicksand?
because quicksand apparently is not really a threat that we have to worry about.
I don't know where it is. Did your parents ever tell you that you couldn't swim after you ate?
Yes. You had to wait 30 minutes to swim.
Yeah,
Otherwise, you're
that was some
all that
bullshit.
you know what that was? That was so our
You're gonna
parents
get a
didn't have
cramp.
to get back in the pool. They wanted to have another beer.
Wait a
or
minute, your
tummy
parents
drink.
got in the pool with you?
Yeah.
What?
Why wouldn't? I mean, yes and no. Like at a certain age, like yes, they wanted to be close by because especially my mom was a worrier.
No, like I learned to swim at like the age of, I don't know, 3 or so. After that, they're
I
like,
started swimming at 8 months.
you're good. Like you're good to go.
8 months or 18
Well, I started swimming in the womb. It's not a contest.
I'm not trying.
What I'm saying
That's
is that ever since I could swim on my own without dying, they were like, yeah, it's fine. You go swim. I'll see you later. But if you eat, don't go outside
Right.
for a while.
Well, okay. So it gave them 30 more minutes of not having to watch. And
That
then
sounds
they
about
could
right.
drink and have fun and be merry and all that good stuff. Hey,
Uh,
Mary,
you
that's
know,
my name.
that's no shit.
No shit. Sorry, Christmas week. We're gonna have to do it. I can't wait until we get closer to Christmas because we'll do like our top Christmas movies and discuss.
Oh
that.
yeah. Die
Although
Hard,
it'll probably be
obviously.
an entire. Yeah, of course. Yeah, there are two types of people. There are people that know that Die Hard is a Christmas movie, and then the other people are wrong.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would agree with that.
Our entire episode is going to be about Christmas Vacation, though, which is the best Christmas movie ever told. Do you know?
enjoy that.
Fun fact, and we're going to end on this fun fact: the house in WandaVision that Wanda and Vision lived in is the Griswold's house. The outside.
No
of it
way. Is it?
Outside of it is the Griswold's house.
It doesn't.
Yep.
I don't think it looked like it.
Well, it's painted. The shrubbery is a little bit different,
Yeah.
but at IMDb, it is the Griswold's house. And then
Oh,
Dottie's
wow.
house. Dottie, was that her name? The snooty neighbor, the snooty like blonde neighbor that was in charge of all the committees. Anyway,
Oh, I don't remember.
her house was Sergeant Murtaugh from Lethal Weapon movies.
Interesting.
Yep.
Fun fact.
Yep, very fun fact. That's going to do it for us today. Please make sure you like us on Facebook, Instagram. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Vote for us on Orlando Weekly's Best of contest under Best Local Color. Did I forget anything? I think that's it, right?
You've said so much.
I know.
think we're good.
I know. We'll be back on Tuesday night.
Okay, bye.